Boom, right.
I told
It's been a
I,
couple weeks.
I told you
Been,
so. I told you so. I told you so. I told you so.
listen,
Told you so. I told you so.
what a week to come back on.
Yeah, we're right
Yes,
on time.
yes.
We're right on time.
This is the best of both worlds of wrestling. I am Chris.
I'm Khalil, the prophet. Khalil Haywood.
Yes.
I told you so. I told you so. I told you so.
You're just gonna jump right in it. The hot tag.
Told you so.
Unless you've been under a rock, in case you missed it, this weekend WWE held their Survivor Series pay-per-view, and at the end of this was the end of the show, right?
Yeah.
A big return happened. Some would say that after this return has happened, my man Satan is taking figure skating lessons down in hell because it surely has frozen over. And we are talking about the return of CM Punk to the WWE.
That's right. It's only
Crazy,
right. It's only
crazy.
right. It's only right. It's the old look, bro. It's the Fed, man. The Fed is always gonna look. The Fed is king. The Fed is king. That was a good feeling. I was not true. Honestly, I watched Survivor Series after the fact. I wasn't
Mhm.
watching it live. I was at a Friendsgiving Saturday, and I'm scrolling Twitter, and people are hinting that like Punk showed up or what the hell. Like I'm seeing like all these reactions. I'm like, there's no way this is happening.
Mhm.
I find the clip, I think on Twitter, and I lost it. I'm in the Friendsgiving. Probably people look at me like, why is he smiling at his phone so? I'm like, bruh, if only you even cared half as much as I do. I'm in the sofa just
Listen,
like, yo, this is yes, man. And I don't
yeah,
know what the stories are, but it looks
yeah,
like they're gonna do something with Seth at some point, so they're gonna play with
yeah,
that.
yeah,
But I didn't think he was coming back this soon. I knew he would be back in the E. I
yeah.
knew it. I knew it. I knew it. I knew it. I knew it.
I was
And I
actually
wanted it.
I had just left work when you DM me the video and text me. I was like, oh, I was like, because I forgot it was on, and work was so crazy that my mind wasn't even. I
It's
wasn't
a
even checking
Saturday.
social media. Yeah, I wasn't even checking
Hmm.
social media. So I saw that and I was like, oh shit, they did it. They did it. Now, I will say I expected him to. So I was 50-50 on the Survivor Series return
Hmm.
because the internet started speculating after he got fired from AEW. They figured out Survivor Series was in Chicago.
Hmm.
So it was just wishful thinking at that point. Fans were like, "Oh, Punk's gonna come back in Chicago. I hope he comes back in Chicago."
Right.
And then I think Nick Khan got asked about it in an interview, and he didn't say no, but he made it seem like that wasn't even on the radar, signing
Yeah,
CM
like we
Punk.
good. We good over here.
Yeah, and I'm like, all right, Nick Khan is not a wrestling dude, so I can't really say he's being a carny and trying to work everyone right now. That's
The
probably how
business
they
guy though.
really feel. Yeah,
Mhm.
and I'm like, business says that you bring him back if both sides could be amicable about it. But
Hmm.
and then I think it was a clip of CM Punk was doing commentary for like a hockey game, and he said something about I got something coming up next month. I got to get ready for. Like he alluded to having something to do in November, and then fans really started speculating. I think Sean Ross Sapp from Fightful started getting into the speculation of things, and then yeah, I just forgot about Survivor Series, and then boom, here he is, and it's surreal and it's not at the same time. Like
Comes back.
it's not.
He looks
Yeah,
10 years younger. Look like he be getting good sleep.
listen, he had all this time to recuperate and catch up on rest, and I think people are mentioning AJ too, so I don't know if she's going to be back in any capacity because I know there are a lot of the really young women on the roster, like the NXT roster, look up to AJ. Like AJ was that girl for a
She was
generation.
the beginning of what we enjoy right now and for
Yeah,
this era. For this era.
yeah. And then I don't think she's I don't think she's working with Woman of Wrestling anymore. Wow. I think that's yeah, I think because when WoW came back, that's Gene for those who don't know, WoW is like an all women's promotion that Jeannie Buss has invested in. They've been around for a while, but their shows air on Vice.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
they used to air after Impact, but now they got to deal with Vice, and their shows air on Vice. But when they initially came back, she was supposed to be a huge part of that. Like she's even on commentary for the first couple of shows. But
Yeah, I think I've seen that. I think I've
yeah,
seen that.
I'm assuming she's done with that. If they want to bring her back in the fold too, as maybe a coach or something, some kind of consultant, because like the girls were mentioning her, or like Cora Jade and all the other girls were tweeting like mentioning her by name on Twitter
They
all weekend.
can. She'd be great to help some of the ladies with like their character development and stuff. If they, I mean, she could just
Yeah.
come back and wrestle too if she want to wrestle. But I'm just
Hmm.
saying, she was such a well developed character. I felt like she was this. She's like an original. Like she's kind of like the
Yeah.
that character of people that they like the stalker character, like what the
Yeah.
cat was to
Yeah.
China, or what Mickey James was for a little while with Trish,
Hmm.
or Tori was for a little while with Sable. Like kind of that stalker thing. She's kind of like weird like that, but she really made that whole thing her own.
Yeah.
I had
Yeah.
all the guys around her finger, and she was very fun with it. She was
And
a good character. I enjoyed AJ, man. I enjoyed
I
AJ.
mean, I remember, if
Besides
I
the fact
remember
that she
right,
won.
Big
Hmm?
E debuted as like her muscle, right?
I
When he was still
know.
Big E Langston.
Remember when he was coming to the ring, got hype, and he smacked her in the chest by mistake? He was doing his little warm up, and oh, it's like, oh, sorry.
Some Big E. But
Yeah.
yeah, man. And so there's a section of people who think Seth's reaction was legitimate. And I'm just like, if you watch wrestling long enough, you should know. It's so over the top. You had Michael Cole holding him back, first of all. Like, let's be for real. If he was really pissed, it wouldn't have been that demonstrative. He probably would have blown up backstage if he was upset. But in the arena when everyone's phones are out and this
He
is gonna
knows.
be
He
all social
knows.
media, this is
And it makes
this is
sense because he
it's
has
a work,
done
brother.
he's done interviews already. So he to me, even when he did them comments on the interview, as a
Mhm.
professional wrestler, I'm not one, obviously, but I might as well be, man. I've been watching this 30 years at least now. So
Yeah.
you know, like your money is always in like the next story. And so he at least he might have felt honestly how he felt when he said those things about Punk during them interviews. But he also understood that like I'm planting seeds for if he ever does come back, which is always on the table, because you don't run the company, someone else run the company. And we've seen people, we've seen Goldberg come back, we've seen Ultimate Warrior come back, we've seen Bruno San Martino come back, we've seen Superstar Billy Graham come back. We like everyone that swore off they never coming back. Stone Cold had a match 2 years ago. All right.
Listen,
So
when Brett came back, once Brett came back, I was like, oh, it's open.
it's why
It's
I
open.
never, ever, ever doubted CM
Hmm.
Punk would be back in some capacity. We was getting cult of personality in the Federation again. And so
Yeah.
I think
I
Seth
will say, I will
understood.
say this one thing. The only
Mhm.
tricky one I think is, and he passed, so we don't know, Macho Man.
He was on his way.
But the rumors of his departure and his riff with Vince have been like really nefarious. Like it's more
Oh,
than
with
business.
Stephanie
It's
and
like,
whatnot.
yeah. I mean, I don't think those rumors are true,
You have no
but
clue.
yeah. But
But he
that
was
was the
on his way.
only
He,
one I would have
he
been
did
like,
a whole wrestling game promo for the video game. He did a whole promo for them.
oh, he
You
did.
know,
Damn,
oh,
my
you would look
memory's
that.
like,
This is like a couple months before he died, and it's like, bruh, he ain't lost a step in terms of his promo.
oh, come
Oh, I
on,
gotta send that. You better go find that.
Bonesaw, baby,
It was for All Stars Wrestle WWE All Stars. What the name of the game was? It was like a NBA Jam style
Oh, okay,
wrestling game,
okay.
and he's in the game, and so he's talking about his character in the game. So he's like, "Oh, my
Oh,
man got
okay,
the
bet.
elbow," and I'm like, "Bruh."
Oh, damn,
And
all
this is
right.
like during the year that he died. Like he was gonna be back. not to
Yeah.
wrestle maybe, but maybe go in
Oh
the
yeah,
Hall of
yeah,
Fame
yeah.
and
That's
stuff
the
like
rest
that.
of. Okay.
You know, without it, I didn't doubt it. And so I say all that to say, Seth knew if I let this be known right now, we got
Hmm.
something to work with if he ever does come back. And if he never comes back, this is how I feel anyway. But if he does come back, it's
Yeah.
like, oh, we can play with this. Because
Hmm.
now they know I don't fuck with you. And now if you show up and you're in the same arena as I am, I have to play into the fact that I don't want you here. That's what I said, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's a work,
Yeah.
bro. And it's good. It's a good work. I love it. I
It's
love it.
and it's funny because there was another report about Drew McIntyre like storming out and leaving the building
Hmm.
and like causing so much of a scene that people notice because Drew is never really that type of person.
Hmm.
And so, but I don't think that has anything to do with Punk. I think that's just a coincidence. I think it's a contract thing because they've been trying to renegotiate or negotiate a new contract for him
Hmm.
for months because I believe his deal is up at the end of the year and we're already at the end of November. So
Hmm.
I don't know if it's a frustration thing or if it's a work because I don't know what angle they're working now at that Survivor Series with him. But yeah, but Punk
I
is
can't
back.
call it with him.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know what he's upset about. I can't tell you whether he should or shouldn't be. But
Mhm. But this is
um,
gonna be a lot of interesting things will be happening. So Raw tonight is definitely gonna do a big number.
it's must see. It's
Like it'll be Punk back, and the Monday Night Football game matchup is trash. No one's gonna watch it tonight. It's two bad teams. It's like it's the Vikings versus I can't even remember. So anybody watching that? But unless you live in Minnesota, but it should be a big, not a huge number, but it should be a big number tonight.
should be higher than what they used to. Although I'm
Yeah,
sure they've been having better numbers in recent months.
yeah,
Um,
and I'm sure they're gonna. I'm pretty sure they open the show with Punk.
I think they kind of have to so that people ain't chanting for him the whole show
Yeah, yeah,
to
and you get
alleviate
and
that.
you bring in that initial viewership. That first quarter viewership be like over 1 million, and then boom, you good. Just keep it steady for the rest of the night.
And not only that, as we're gonna get into now, like there's other returns. So
Yes,
we might get
indeed.
we might get Randy Orton, return Randy Orton. You might get him on Raw as well. Um,
Hmm.
bound to probably get a quick R Truth match, maybe.
Oh,
There's
listen, the
there's
pop he got was heartwarming. Like that
yo,
is a dude
yo,
who,
they went off of him, boy.
yeah, yeah.
That has to feel good. He showed up. They was like, yeah. I was like, that's right, man.
He is such an interesting case in wrestling because
He's gonna be the most interesting Hall of Famer when it's all said and done.
yeah, because if we're taking his entire career into totality, he's a former NWA heavyweight champion.
He got titles.
Yeah, like he went when like his time in TNA, he was a top guy in TNA. You know
Mhm.
what I'm saying? So, but then for him to come back to the E and like embrace this comedic role and just run with it, take it to and make his career last longer than it
That's
probably
what's
would
up.
have lasted
Hmm.
if he didn't. Like
Mhm.
that's a testament to him because like it's not like our truth was whack in the ring.
No,
Like it's not that. It's just his charisma and his personality is so over the top that you got to capitalize on it. And boom, and his body is probably thanking him. You
yeah,
know, he doesn't have to do as much, like especially with the way he wrestled with the dives and the corkscrew, everything. I'm sure his back would have been like
yeah. It
sore
would
if
have.
he kept that full time. But shout out to
The
him coming
injuries
back.
he got, the injuries he got is definitely just because he's been doing it for 25 years.
Yeah, yeah.
Not for no other reason. Because the dude don't age. Not
Mm-mm.
one. He still. I told my cousin. I mean, even over the weekend, I was like, "Yo, he still look like K Quick, yo.
Yo, K Quick for real with the
He look
shiny
like K.
jeans,
He look like K Quick
with
still,
the
man.
Gerbo jeans.
He getting rowdy.
Son,
Yeah,
rowdy, rowdy. Yo, listen, people
and
over there, what's up?
yeah, man. So it'll be good to see everybody. But what a return. I don't know how
Hmm.
CM Punk. He probably it's him and probably Chris Jericho that has had these no, like multiple huge returns.
Yeah, yeah,
And The Rock is getting into that category now too. But the Jericho and Punk returns lead to actual matches more times than not. So
yeah.
I got to put them on higher regards. And what's special about Punk's returns and is that this shit is so condensed. He's had like three of these shits in the last 2 years.
That's crazy, right? That's the thing that bugged me. I was like, yo, this is Punk's third huge return
Bruh.
in the last couple of years. And this is the dude who we thought would never wrestle again, let
Hey
alone for the
man,
WWE. But and
hey
I know,
man.
I told you, like the only thing that I'm not looking forward to is the online discourse amongst fans, but it hasn't been that bad, honestly. It hasn't been that bad lately.
Everybody
But
got a role to play, and you
yeah,
hope the people who are the wrestling journalists out there, I hope they're not looking for every little hiccup to report on. Just let the man
oh
have his
listen,
time in the company. Let things be what they are. Don't
listen,
give us,
Meltzer.
don't tease us.
Meltzer already got the report of how like Punk felt he was bigger than AEW, and that's why, like this, like he made a decision he was going to come to WWE after the Scrum situation and this, that, and the third, and how this other ex WWE. And I'm like, yo, we don't need this now. Let us just enjoy the
Yeah,
moment before jumping into the whole who's
the
unhappy,
minutia.
who's next to jumping. Like let all that happen when it happens.
It was so
All right.
genuine. There were him coming back. I told you, it felt like the most right thing. I was like, bro, this is it. This
Yeah.
is it. Nothing
Yeah.
against AEW, man.
Yeah.
But it's just, bro. You drink America's Choice.
Yeah.
It's cranberry juice. You drink Ocean Spray. It's a different experience. It's just you're like, damn, this is freaking cranberry juice. So
Like,
not that
and I think the people who decided to take sides after that whole thing, they got to at least give AEW credit for being the company to rekindle Punk's love for wrestling. Because with him not coming back to AEW, I don't think he goes back to WWE. At least not now. It would probably been like next year or something like that.
I
Once,
agree.
if the whole Triple H taking over and Vince McMahon falling back still happens. I think
I
that's a
agree.
huge factor in him coming back. But listen, they did something to make him want to come back, and his run was good while he was there. So
I liked it. I
yeah,
liked it. I love the MJF feud.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
that I don't even think that reached everything it could have reached. They
Oh
could have
no,
easily
no, they still have more story to tell. They
now
still
that
have more
MJF
story
is
to
like
tell.
on this level now, it's like, oh,
Mhm.
they
Yeah.
could have got more out of that.
Well, I think they
And
were honestly gonna, like, before the whole Adam. I think the Adam Cole thing was a pivot.
mhm.
Like leaning more into it was a pivot, a due to the fans loving it initially, and due to Punk leaving. I think the next step was well, I don't want to say it's a unification because Punk says he's the real world champ, but you had to relinquish it due to injury, so you weren't. But I think that was going to be the whole deal. Punk thinking, calling himself the real world champion, and him and
At that
MJF and
point,
them, yeah, and then that would have
yeah.
probably been. I don't think it would have been the All In show, but probably this past Full Gear that would have been the main event for Full Gear, something like that, instead of Jay White.
Well, they could have had it. They didn't have to fire him. That's such a
Yeah,
good job. That wasn't no fireable offense, be like. But here we are. Y'all some punks over there, man.
nah,
No
that's why I
pun
have to.
intended.
That's why I think it has to be something more than that, because to fire for Tony Khan to fire essentially his favorite pro wrestler ever is
Dude
CM
said
Punk.
they
Like,
they got into a fight in his area, and the dude yelled in his face, and he was scared for his
yeah,
life.
I think some production equipment almost fell on top of him or some shit like that. Something, but anyway, Punk is back in the E. Um, and like the next logical question in that is, well, before we get into, we'll close the show with how the landscape of wrestling has changed, but
Yeah, yeah,
after,
yeah, yeah, yeah.
yeah, they eventually, like, they're teasing Seth as the first feud. I want to see what he does for WrestleMania, unless that's going to be the WrestleMania match and just build from now up until WrestleMania. Will he be in the Rumble as an entrant?
Hmm. I think if you want to, I think if they, I don't know if they need him in the Rumble. They got so many people you care about now. Thank
Yeah,
goodness
yeah. I
that
think
he
he should
don't.
have a match instead of just being in the Rumble.
Yeah, he might end up doing something like that. But I do think they should not touch each other until WrestleMania, though. I don't think they should have a match until WrestleMania, yo.
Yeah, not that. Just promos.
Yeah,
Just
and they could get
promos.
in. They could really get into it. And I think you'll see also like Seth ain't gonna be so hunky dory, flamboyant with his presentation leading up into that neither. He gonna be very serious and annoyed.
Yeah,
And I
yeah,
was thinking earlier, like Punk got to be able to use the card on Seth, and hopefully again with Roman eventually that he's like, yo, kayfabe, I'm the one that brought you up to this point, B. Like
yeah,
I introduced you all to the world, and that needs to
yep.
be something that's said. If now that we're in this era of doing callbacks, because
Hmm.
Triple H is remembering people's history and shit,
Hmm.
that got to be something that's like, bro. When I was y'all came in, I was on top, but I was on my run. You know what I mean? Y'all came in when I was fighting The Rock, B. Like
You know what I'm saying? Best in the world.
I'm nothing to snooze that, you know. And so and man, I don't know. I guess he's gonna be on Raw. A Roman feud is like that should be part of Roman's
Hmm.
run, B.
Hmm.
Because the dynamic between Roman and Punk, but also Paul Heyman and Punk is like,
Yes.
my nigga,
Yes.
we need that is like
Yes.
what? What?
You.
Like he had
It's funny.
Paul Heyman had both of them reigns. He had both of those reigns on his resume. And
Yeah.
them that's a story, bruh.
Yo,
That
it's
might
funny
be.
how like
I don't know. They gotta do that for Royal Rumble. They gotta do it for something. It
yeah,
needs
it's
to be
funny.
a thing.
It's funny how a couple of weeks ago we were saying how what's the next thing they can do with Roman's championship reign
I'm
to
bored
get
with it.
people, yeah, and
I'm bored with it.
boom, lo and behold, here we go. You got a story that writes itself. Now, when they
I'm
decide to
bored
tell
with
the
it.
story, it'll be up to them, but you gotta tell that story. You have to. And you gotta get Punk and LA Knight in the ring together at one point. Even though
How
there's
do you
rumors they're having like there's rumors like because WWE is now under a parent company,
mm,
they can't guarantee as much money for contracts without permission, quote unquote. So
okay.
like apparently trying to come up with a deal for LA Knight is becoming an issue for them too. But I'm sure they'll work that out because they ain't no way they're gonna let him go. Not
Ah
now.
man.
Yeah.
That dude can talk people into people like him. He has to
Hmm.
stay. People like
Yeah.
him.
Yeah.
Um that's what do you think? I'm personally like, I'm not mad at the Roman reign, but I am bored. Um,
Yeah.
but how long do you think they are running with this thing? That they will run with this thing?
I think he drops the title 2024. I don't know when in 2024, but that'll be it. Like I think he'll finish the year out as champion. They don't have any more. They don't have a December pay per view, do they? They probably do, but I'm not. I'm just not.
I don't think so.
Yeah, and if
I
they
think the
do,
next
it's
thing is
not
the
big enough for
Rumble.
him to drop the belt. Yeah, Rumble probably. So I think he. I don't know if he'll hold it after Mania. If he's still the champion when Mania is done, I don't know what they're going to be doing. I honestly have no idea what else they can do. But other than that, I think 2024 is the end.
Between now and Mania, the only big pay per view is Royal Rumble, right?
Yeah, yeah. I mean, they have
Although they do Elimination Chamber in Australia, I think, which I guess will be a big deal.
yeah,
But there's no, Rumble and Mania are two of the big fours. Survivor Series is the third big four,
yeah.
and the other one is SummerSlam. So you
Hmm.
think if it's not, you think it goes until SummerSlam, or you think it's done at Mania?
I'm thinking it's done at Mania,
Okay,
but if it's not, it has to be done by SummerSlam. He cannot
okay.
finish 2024 still as champion. He can't because I don't. I just can't see what other fresh stories you can tell in
There's
this.
nothing very captivating. The Punk stuff
Yeah.
is captivating, but like if Roman were to fight Solo right now,
Hmm.
go for it. I don't really care. If you want
Yeah.
to fight Jimmy right now, go. I don't really care. Like, what are we doing?
Yeah. Like we need, you gotta, the other shoes gotta drop, you know?
You know, and that's not to say that LA Knight should have beat him or nothing like that. I'm just saying like you just should have been making some other decisions here about dropping
Yeah.
um another time. That's all.
Yeah,
That's all I'm saying.
that's gonna be something interesting to watch. And then does Punk will eventually want to be a champion again, but I can see him going for the World Heavyweight Championship and maybe dethroning Seth. But
And
I
then
don't know if
maybe
they'll
doing like a Night of Champions match against Roman or some shit like that.
something like that. Something like that. But
Okay.
yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I have faith based on his recent run, I have faith that Triple H will figure something out. You know, we'll see. We'll see.
Yeah, I trust what we. I mean, I built up equity with Triple H running this thing, so
Yeah.
I'm curious. Um, so we'll
Because
see.
like the more I think about it, like thinking about both company, all the companies, the more I'm like, yo, booking wrestling is hard, man.
Sure.
Booking wrestling is hard when you, especially when you have a large roster to manage.
So I need a
And
team, and
yeah,
both companies have large rosters.
yeah. And like
You
when
know.
people's tastes vary so much in wrestling, like some people love the comedy stuff, some people hate it, some people like blood, some people hate it, this, that, then the third. It's tricky. It's tricky. So I ain't gonna hold anybody's feet too close to the fire.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, we gotta,
Absolutely.
this Roman stuff has to, we gotta, you know, generate
We've
some excitement for it again.
we've been reheating the hell out of it.
Yeah.
Hopefully they made something happen with it. I have been watching wrestling, but I've been I catch it when I catch it. You know,
Hmm.
we've been going for a couple of weeks, so I can't remember everything that caught my eye. But in regards to our slam of the week,
Yes,
um,
yes.
I want to shout out the women's War Games match because I saw some cool stuff. A slight little critique, but saw some cool stuff. EOS guy on the top of the thing, on the top of the cage, put a garbage can over her body, over her head, and jumped
Oh,
off the shit onto the women, which I thought
yeah.
was so fun. My only critique on them spots, because Charlotte did a moonsault off the top of that thing later in the match, also, which I
Hmm.
enjoyed as well. When these women are waiting to safely catch these other ladies, I need them to like still punch each other and stuff. I still need them to look busy because
Yo,
the
that's a
camera has to
pandemic.
sort of work to make it work. But
Yeah,
it's like, bro, the people in the arena, I feel like they get taken out of the moment. We're all just waiting for a thing to happen, which is a
yeah,
lot of older wrestlers like critiques of that style of wrestling. It's like, bro,
yes,
we are in
yes,
we are in combat, man. We got to stay in combat no matter what. And at the last minute, we all got to be ready, or maybe somebody could, the ladies got to say a word when they about to jump down, like something to make people at the last minute go, all right, we're ready now.
yeah.
You know what I mean? Because otherwise, it's like this ain't Mortal
Oh,
Kombat.
listen, that is one of my old man yelling at the cloud critiques in all of wrestling. Like the standing and watching, and like they got to set up an elaborate dive, so you got to get everyone together, and you're all standing there, arm in arm, ready to catch on. Like, bro, someone throw a chop, an eye gouge,
Something
something,
in
do
the
something,
middle of it,
do
you
something.
know.
Or if you can see the screen, have your back to the wrestler and then look at the screen and then turn at the second, so it seems like, oh, you caught me off guard, I wasn't looking, instead of looking at them climb up the rope and wobbling like you on Mortal Kombat dizzy or some shit like that. Like, it's not, I hate it. And it stuck out to me because I was watching Collision
Mhm.
and it was House of Black versus I think Commander and Gravity, and two luchadors. But Commander, what he does is he does a full tightrope across one rope and then springs board off the adjacent ropes. So while he's doing that tight walk, they're all standing there waiting again. It's like, bro, it just looks so awkward. Like it works in lucha libre most times because they're fast paced. They're
Yes.
fat, and they've been wrestling since they were like 10 in Mexico. So the timing is so perfect that they don't need to stand and wait for each other. They know where they're supposed to be at the time. But it just I
Hmm.
hate it. I hate it.
I got to give like some respect to like the Undertaker in this sense. Like as became more of a like a work rate type of wrestler. If you
Yeah,
notice when he does the old school as the years went on, when he would walk the rope, he started doing way more attacking your shoulder type shit before he would do it. Like he'll twist your arm a little bit, he'll pull your
yeah,
joint in, like yeah, he'll do some stuff to make it seem like, all right, I'm kind of sure now. I ain't really gonna bother you when you decide to walk up there.
yeah,
Early Undertaker would just pull you to the corner, doop, 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 and he would do the thing. And then when people start paying attention, he's like, oh, all right, I gotta turn this into a hold. So I'm gonna
yeah,
start slamming you. I'm gonna start working the arm. So when
yeah,
I get to this point, it's understood that like, okay, he ain't really gonna try to mess with me at this point. And I think that's smart. You know what I
yeah.
mean? Like people got to find ways just to, because even for me as a viewer, it takes me out of it. But I thought
Mhm.
those ladies had a fun match. Bianca had two braids and she was whipping people with both braids. It was a lot of fun, man.
Bianca
Um,
Two Braises, get it.
yeah, it was cool. It was cool to see Becky and Charlotte be on the same page,
Mhm.
given their history. And yeah, I didn't know that was coming. Like that was something that happened like a week or two ago. I was like, oh yeah, they cool. Okay.
It was like I know I seen a post. It was like Bianca was like taking credit for like getting them to be on the same page and shit. So it's a
Oh,
good thing.
that's a shoot?
No, no, like kayfabe wise, like
Oh, okay.
yeah,
Yeah, I
but
mean
what you call
it's
it? I did not see Survivor Series. Um,
check it out when you can.
I will definitely.
The
I'll probably watch
Saturday
it
thing
today.
threw me off, man. Trust me. I was like,
Yeah,
oh, it's Saturday. Let me
yeah.
grab it ready. I'm gonna be in Harlem.
Like it had like last week, and I had to watch. I watched Full Gear on Sunday, and
Okay.
I ain't gonna front. When you got nothing, when you it's a lazy Sunday, throwing on a pay per view Sunday late morning, early afternoon, I ain't bad. Um,
Worst ways to
but
spend your time.
my slam of the week is going to be from Full Gear
Yeah, yeah,
because
yeah.
like there were no TV matches in the past 2 weeks that really stood out to me
Hmm.
more than this. So it's gonna be Swerve and Hangman Texas Death Match. And I say this as someone who that I never liked. Well, let me not say I've never liked death matches. I never liked the way indie wrestling did death matches, if that makes sense. With the light tools and it was just such unregulated violence that like
No
it was
story.
cringe. No, but like even outside of the story, like the spots you could tell no one went over the spots to make sure they were doing it in a safe way.
Okay.
You know what I mean? Everything just like if you watch the Dark Side of the Ring of Nick Gage, like
Oh
he
yeah,
gets hit
yeah.
with a light tube and freaking slices the artery open. It's just like, bro, what are you doing? That's not to me. That's not wrestling. Like I ain't not. But when you get into the way Japan did it and the way
Mhm.
AEW does their death matches, like yes, it's violent, but you can tell that they say, all right, we went over these. We at least discussed these spots if we didn't physically go over them before. But I say that to say this: that match started balls to the wall. Like
You know what's funny? I didn't
Hangman.
see it. I only seen clips of that match. I haven't seen the whole thing.
Oh yeah, I've seen it. So Swerve. So first of all, Prince Nana has the background dancers now. He came out to Swerve's music,
That's my
and
favorite part of the whole package, B.
yeah, yeah,
And you know what? Not to cut you off, but I really
yeah.
think eventually because people love Nana so much,
Hmm.
Swerve is gonna turn on Nana one day, man. Because he's
Listen,
getting him over as a face kind of with the dance. Swerve's gonna
Yeah,
turn on him, and niggas are gonna be real tight at Swerve, and it's gonna help him continue to be a heel.
yeah, yeah. I
It's
mean,
coming. It's coming.
the promo Hangman cut before the pay per view. He planted those seeds. He was like, "Yo, Nana's just using you." He comes out here, he does his little dance, and he sells $1,000 in T-shirts. Da, 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 da. He's living off of your success. So they already planted the seeds, and you could tell like sometimes when when they're coming out, Swerve has like a little bit of a side eye to Nana, but he just shrugs it off and keeps
Hmm.
going. But that match though, so no interest for Hangman. He comes out, just boom, just runs out, starts the action already. They
Oh,
like the staple, the whole stapling paper set. That was the first 5 minutes of the match.
oh wow!
Like
I
they
thought
came out and got to the violence immediately, just to push the whole. This is the blood feud, and Hangman is that angry. So like
you
it
broke
came
in my
out,
house.
yeah, like the whole drinking the blood and spitting was like the first quarter of that match. And six, that spot, I can see why people don't like that spot because like health concerns wise, you. But
Is that
as
the
it's,
is that the drinking blood spot?
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
What?
because I don't know, because what happened was wherever Swerve bladed, he must have hit, and because he was leaking immediately, he must have hit like a juicy vein or something because it was just. Because you could see the blood was just pouring out of his face, and for that
Uh,
much blood to be in his mouth for him, it was crazy. And then the whole staple spot, Swerve stapling himself and laughing like a psycho. Hangman stapling his kid's finger painting Swerve's face. Um, like the spots were dangerous, but what I really like is that AEW, for as many Texas death matches as they've had, because they just had another one earlier this year. Um, on what you call it, Ricky Starks versus American Dragon Brian Danielson. They just had that a couple months ago. But
hmm.
what they do is they book these matches so differently that it doesn't feel like you're watching the same match. Like the
Hmm.
pacing of each match is different, the stories, the things they're choosing to highlight in the stories in each match is different. And that's one thing I would say AEW does very well. They know how to repeat these matches, but not make them feel like the same when you're watching them. But
I could dig that.
that match was just
It
because
sounds like
they,
the match that Swerve needed to continue to
yes,
solidify this character. That's what it
yeah,
does seem like.
yeah, and it doesn't hurt Hangman's character because he lost in the Texas Death Match. You got to lose either by submission or by knockout or passing out. There's no pinfall,
Hmm.
so he choked him out with the chain. He tied the chain around his neck, did a little threw it over the turnbuckle and hung him and choked him out with it. But so Hangman looks quote unquote strong in defeat. But
So
yeah, that
Hangman was
match
a
was.
hangman.
Nah, Swerve was the hangman. Oh, I meant to send you the picture too. So there's a picture of Swerve hanging hangman with the chain. And in the
Okay.
background, it's like Martin Luther King, Malcolm X, and Teddy Long smiling down on him.
Not Teddy Long.
I was like, yo, why is Teddy Long here? And then in the thread, there's a clip of Teddy Long. I forgot who he was saying it to, but it was on SmackDown. He's like, security, get this cracker out of my ring. I was like, son, only Teddy Long can say cracker
Oh,
on
no, that
TV in
whole
pro
thug,
wrestling.
thugging and bugging era, Teddy Long was out of
Oh
control.
man, listen,
Rodney Mack, Jazz, and Mark Henry. Oh
son,
my,
the 5 minute white boy challenge.
oh my God. I didn't even. I don't think I don't think I had cable at that time, so I missed that. I called all that shit like residually after the fact. I heard he was
Nah,
wilding,
that
but I
shit
didn't see
was
it when it
yo. He was
happened.
wild. And this man
A
said,
couple years
"Get
later, I
this
called. I was like,
cracker out of my
yo,
ring."
oh
But
my
yeah,
God.
man, that's my slam of the week. Swerve, Hangman. They have they have really great chemistry with each other. Like they really play well off each other.
I,
And Swerve
that's
is
so
2-0.
ironic.
I know,
I
right?
was,
I never would have thought. I never would have thought, but they got it, man.
they can't have no more matches after that. I don't know where they go after that, but that was brutal enough, if
I
you
feel
ask me.
like if they ever face each other again, it had to be sometime down the line. You got to give a little breather, and then it would have to be for the world title. Like a championship has to be involved. Otherwise, there's no point in them wrestling each other again. They already
Yeah,
had their blood feud.
they can revisit it down the line,
Yeah.
but yeah, I don't know where they go after this. Um, but those are some good slam of the week. All right, that was straight. This whole look, man. This shit is fun right now. That's all I.
Hmm.
It's been just more fun and more fun. Wrestlers need to get in more fights backstage to keep it fun. Um, so what do you? Well, Survivor Series, I can tell you. As a quick recap, what
Hmm.
I remember seeing, uh, the faces beat Damage Control
Hmm.
in the women's war games match. I think uh yo, there was another spot that will annoy you in that match too. I'm sorry, but who does Kyrie Sane does the insane elbow, right?
Yeah.
Right? And
Yeah.
so there was a spot where one of her teammates sort of catapults her. Like just we standing here, she runs towards her, and then her teammate catapults her up. And she does the insane elbow from that onto somebody.
Hmm.
But she doesn't the person had chairs on top of them. She does the elbow on the chair, and Kyrie Sane ass hit the chair. So she comes down. Wow. I was like, oh, that's but Kyrie didn't sell the fact that she also fell on the chair.
See,
You know what I mean? I'm
see.
like, yo, you fell on the chair. So yeah,
At
you hit
least,
your shit. But you fell
at
on the
least
chair.
shake your arm out. Shake your arm out. Something.
The girl buttocks hit the chair. I'm like, bro, you got to do something to say. I just hit a chair. The lady she got catapulted at least 8 feet in the air. It was a cool move. Anyway, I'm gonna sound like I'm nitpicking. I'm really not. I enjoyed that match. It was my slam of the week. But I
Yeah.
just popped in my head. Rhea Ripley beat Zoe Stark. We expected that. I still
Yeah.
like Zoe Stark. She's coming along. Gunther, my guy, he beat the Miz in a what was a longer than expected match.
Hmm.
Um,
I was surprised by that.
yeah, you thought Miz was gonna win?
No, 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 no. I wasn't
Oh,
surprised by that. Yeah, no, no. I knew Gunther was not. If not, Miz is not going to be one to dethrone Gunther.
trying to think. Am I missing a match? When he had the men's war games, I don't think was that all the matches.
Did they do
Oh,
Ray
what I
Race
did?
Hour entry? They didn't do any LWO thing, right?
Yes. Sorry, they had a match. Santos had a match with Dragon Lee. I think the guy's name is.
Yeah.
Came from NXT. I did not watch that match though. I gotta give it a look. They had a match, but I will
Dragon
say,
Lee, who is the
mhm,
brother of Roosh
who's
from
Roosh?
AEW, from AEW. Roosh, LFO, LFI, I mean, Los Faction Ingo Bernables.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
He's their leader. He's their leader.
That's
Long
the
hair
dude that
Mexican
be
guy.
okay. That's not the dude that be talking with that be coming out speaking English for Andrade.
No, 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 no.
Oh, okay, I'm
Nah,
bugging then.
Roosh is Roosh. He had a match this past Wednesday against him and Jay White had a match. And then did you
Yes,
catch?
I saw some of that.
Yeah, did you catch Collision last weekend?
I think I did.
I think he had a match then too. He had a tag match. But yeah, like him, there's another wrestler, Jalisco. Like they got it's like six brothers. It's
Okay,
just
I
spread
didn't
out
know they
through
were
all the
related.
wrestling. Yeah.
Okay. Um. Also, how they did the Randy Orton return was fun. So in the main event, they were toying that Randy Orton did not come out with them. So it was always,
Okay.
is he going to show up type of thing. And so, they went through everybody's war game. Everyone that's supposed to enter have entered. And so
Hmm.
now the only logical next person that's supposed to come in is supposed to be Randy. So they go to the runway and his music don't play. And then Rhea Ripley music play. So she's running out and she got not Damian Sandow, sorry. Damian Priest uh money in the bank with the referee. So Seth is out during the match, during the war games, knocked out. So they trying
Yeah.
to cash it in right
During War
now.
Games. Oh shit.
Yes. So Shorty, I was like, oh, this is creative as hell. And I kind of knew where it was going, but I'm like, this is fun. So it's like, all right, what's happening here? So right when they about to ring the bell for this thing, I hear voices. And then I was like, oh, this is great. So imagine watching that. Like if I was watching that, eventually Randy
Mhm.
comes in, they clean house for the most part, and they win the match. Imagine watching that excitement to just go and DVD, DVD. It's like something else. Something else. Like I
Yeah.
would have fell out. I would have passed out.
Nah, WWE knocked it out the park with that one. Like
And that thing that
they
Triple H
sat
does
back.
where he make you think the show is over, that shit is hilarious. Put the little logo.
With
Good
the
night,
logo in the
everybody.
corner. Yeah. Nope. It ain't over. Oh
Bro, it's
man.
like when you go to a concert, bro. If you don't see that they brought up the house lights, relax.
Yeah,
They're gonna do an
exactly.
encore, bro.
Exactly.
The house lights that come up,
They put.
stay. Don't be running back when I pop back out. You should know that. You should know the deal by now. You know
Nah, that was well played. That was well played. And then
they
I
did
saw
that
that
job good.
little RKO they threw off. What's that dude's name? Um,
J.D. McDonough.
yeah, they threw him off the top of the cage and Owen caught him for the little RKO. And
I thought
Owen's
that
looking
took way
good,
too
man.
long to do too. That dude looks like he's chiseled, be
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
I
Nah, I
know
can't front. There was a point.
Mason Cam is like not happy with my choice of words, but come
Nah, I
on,
ain't gonna
man.
hold you. Like when I was in like my college years and I was like going to the gym every day, I was like, yo, I'm trying to get like Randy. That's what I'm trying to do.
Randy,
I'm trying to get like Randy.
that dude, man, he used his time off well.
Yeah, man.
That dude's
One
been
of my
working hard.
favorites. One of my favorites, man.
You
Um,
know, you probably catch him in a tag team match tonight. How they gonna ease him back into the
yeah,
into the
yeah,
programming.
yeah. Damn, it's been a while. Yeah.
What else? What else should we know about AEW over the last couple weeks that we might not have touched on?
So AEW has they announced at Full Gear that they have signed Will Ospreay,
That's
who
right.
was said to be probably the hottest male free agent in the market. Like out who hasn't worked for either company yet. Let me put
Okay.
that qualifier in there.
Hmm.
Um, so and Will is no one really honestly no one knew who he would sign with because um there's a thing with Will and Seth. They've wanted to have a match together for so long. Like they still tweet each other to this day, talking about one day we'll have this match, one day we'll have this match.
Hmm.
So people thought there was an outside chance WWE might get a have a shot, but I don't know if that was ever gonna be a thing because Osprey's style is so like high impact balls like 100 miles per hour from the jump type of thing that
Hmm.
I don't know if like it's matches what WWE tries to present on a weekly basis.
You know what Vince says, man? We tell stories.
Yeah. Yeah. So I don't know if it and then Will like Pac. He's one of those wrestlers. He doesn't want to move to the US full time. He wants to live in the UK and then travel from the UK to his dates. And so
Not
I knew
gonna
that
work,
was gonna be
Daddy.
a factor there. And then
Not gonna work.
I think he one of the things he wants to do is he still wants to be able to do dates for New Japan whenever he wanted. So once I knew all those things were happening, this wasn't a surprise signing for me.
Hmm.
But it is it's huge. Like they got the biggest male free agent. I say male free agent because for those who don't know who aren't hip to like Japan, Japan's women's wrestling scene, the Joshi scene, there is this wrestler named Julia. She's half Italian, half Japanese.
Hmm.
Her contract with New Japan is up, and she is definitely the best woman free agent out there. She was booked to defeat Mercedes Monet for the belt if Mercedes didn't get injured. That shows you how much faith New Japan had in her. And so the
Might be
rumor
to bring
is
up
that she
Mercedes in the next segment.
yeah. So with Julia,
Yeah.
the rumor is she is basically already signed to WWE. Like that, like they got her in the bag. So so look out for that. That should be another in the next few weeks. If you hear about that signing, it's huge. It's
She
gonna
might
be
be in. She might. They
huge.
might send her NXT.
Yeah, because I think she just has to I don't think her English is that great yet,
Hmm.
but she has the look, she has the in-ring ability, and she is yeah, she's basically outside of Mercedes Monet, she'd be like the biggest free agent woman signing, female free agent signing. I'm trying to sound PC um
Yeah, I understand.
in the game. But yes, Osprey's all elite. He won't be debuting until next year. They're gonna let him finish out his remaining dates with New Japan. And then yeah, 2024 is when I think January he'll be there for Revolution, the Revolution pay-per-view. And
Okay.
then it's on from there. And everyone's speculating since All In's gonna be in the UK, I'm certainly speculating him versus Pac, if Pac is healthy, as the UK. It doesn't have to main event, but it's like you can't do a
Showcase.
show yeah, as a big UK showcase. So it's exciting. It's exciting. He's a I don't know if he's not going to be everyone's cup of tea because he has that style where you know huge moves that should end matches end up getting kicked out of. But
You lost me already.
yeah, but
Look at
outside of
that
that,
triple exploder through the
he's
table. He's
a
up at one. He's up at one. I do it.
listen, yeah, it's gonna be yeah, it'll be one of those
Exactly,
things
Michael Cole.
sometimes.
How did he do it?
But other than that, it should
Oh my
be
god.
it's a big signing for him. We'll see what happens. And then the Continental Classic, AEW is doing their round robin style wrestling tournament,
I think it
which
started
is
already.
yeah, started already. So this is a new format as far as American wrestling goes. Um Mexico, Lucha Libre, and Japan have done these kind of round robin tournaments before. Like New Japan does the G1 every year. And that's used because they invite like wrestlers who don't wrestle for New Japan are invited to the tournament.
Hmm.
So you always get like a mixture of like top guys from other companies, top guys from New Japan or whatever. But this will be AEW's crack at it. I don't know how it's gonna go. There's gonna be a triple crown champion. I don't know who.
It'll get better, I think. But
Yeah,
I think
I
they
just
started it over the week. I think it started Saturday, and I just like my nigga, y'all ain't fucking with
yeah
CM Punk returning homes.
yeah. Now it started
Nobody's
last
watching
Wednesday.
tonight
Dynamite was
for the first one.
Dynamite's when it started. Yeah.
Okay.
So because they're doing it's two groups. It's like the blue group and the gold group. The gold group
It's like
does
a playing
Dynamite.
tournament. Not the
Yeah,
playing tournament,
basically.
in season tournament they got going on.
Yeah, yeah, basically something like that. So that's interesting. I don't know what the booking decisions will be. Like there's a point system, so there's wins, losses, and draws. You get like 3 points for a win, 1 point for a draw, no points for a loss. Um, and like the caliber of wrestlers in there, it feels like outside of Daniel Garcia, everyone in that tournament should be favored to win. But what's the story you're gonna tell to lead to the winner of the tournament? And afterwards. So that'll be what's because it can't be a tournament just for the sake of having a tournament. I would hope that
Isn't
some stories will be built off of it.
isn't the isn't a title on the line during this thing too?
So if you, it's not on the line every match, but
Okay.
if you win the tournament, you win, you become ROH World Champion, the New Japan Strong Open Weight Champion, and AEW's introducing a new another belt, the Continental Championship. So it'll be a triple crown championship, three belts from three different companies. So you'll probably
And
have
but
yeah, you have all belts, you probably get a trophy as well. But you'll essentially be a triple champion by the end of the tournament.
and would that all be represented by one title, or do you defend like these titles
I'm not
separately?
sure. I'm not sure. Usually
AEW,
usually
man.
it's like outside of the US Triple Crown champions, they don't create a new belt. They just have they carry all the belts and like they'll award them a trophy to represent as the Triple Crown champion, but they're not gonna walk around with a big ass trophy all the time. So it's usually I would
Okay.
assume it's since it's three belts, they'll only carry what they'll be defending at the time. Unless you want to be one of those wrestlers who comes out draped, you want to be like Ultimate Dragon, come
Oh,
out with
come back.
every belt you've ever had on you. But that'll be interesting to see with the booking. But yeah,
B.O.W.
listen, people are saying now it's crunch time.
Look, man, the E is not playing with people, yo. That's all I know. They're not fucking with
No,
people. All
no.
right. It's well, I brought up well, you brought up Mercedes Monet, and I had listened to I think I might have been listening to Going in Raw yesterday,
Hmm.
and somebody brought up the point about how likely do you think now that Vince is gone, Punk is back, how likely do you see it, especially with a situation like how there's only one horsewoman not in the company, but the other three horsewomen is on the same page for the first time.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
like, what are the odds you think that Sasha Banks will come back under this new regime? You know what I mean?
Um, I don't know because I'm like I see her going back eventually.
Hmm.
Like I definitely see her finishing out her career there. But I feel like she's at a place right now, like she's still recovering from injury. So just speculation.
Hmm.
But I feel like she's in the time of her life where she still wants to do other things. I wouldn't say, damn, I don't know how old she is. I wouldn't say in 2 years
Oh, you want to give it
she'll be
two
back.
years?
Yeah.
Okay.
Or a year,
Okay.
because I know she expects to be back in action like January, February. She says she should be recovered by. She still has to finish out her New Japan contract. Um,
Hmm.
I could see her freelancing just to get a couple of those like
Dream matches.
matches, yeah, matches that she couldn't get in the WWE. And then once that's done, I think she's back in WWE and finishes out and retires as a future Hall of Famer, blah blah blah, et cetera, et cetera. Because she is someone who it's not like other wrestlers where they've had even if brief, they've had a career outside of the WWE.
Hmm.
Like she is, since she's a homegrown WWE talent who left due to circumstances. I don't want to say outside of her control, but like it
Un-
wasn't like
they weren't
it,
savory for her.
yeah, she didn't leave because she was signed to WWE. She would have stayed if things were the way she wanted them to be.
Hmm.
So it's not like a thing where she had WWE fatigue or she was burnt out. So this always, because of that, the door for her to come back is always going to be open. I just think at this point, she just wants to knock out a couple of dream matches and scenarios before she eventually resigns. Because I think one of the big things was seeing if she was big enough to be a draw outside of the WWE.
Yeah.
And granted, Japan's like a different market, but I feel like she feels like, okay, I'm that bitch. Not to
Hmm.
steal a quote from Jade, but
True.
and especially with Jade now in the WWE.
Look,
Yeah,
man, they got a lot of toys they can play with in WWE right now,
yeah.
bro. It's
You
it's
gotta
so
have that
many
match.
little. And somebody they mentioned this on the podcast I listened to yesterday, like the way that Triple H has been utilizing everybody. I mean, it's the best
Mhm.
we've seen everyone utilizing in decades. Where like
Yeah,
you have
yeah.
interest in the undercard, you have interest in the main events, you have interest in the fluff skits. Look, I
Mhm.
enjoy Austin Theory and what's my other dude over there,
Oh,
Grayson
Grayson
Waller.
Waller.
Oh, I love Grayson Waller, son. Like that dude is that is sports entertainment. That dude is
Yeah,
pro wrestling,
yeah,
yo. That dude is
yeah.
like, this is exactly what it is.
Hmm.
Like people generally don't like him. People generally are tired of Austin Theory. Let's put them together.
Perfect, perfect.
Oh my god.
Listen,
That's one of
I
the
forgot.
best things ever. One of the best things ever they could have ever done.
I was I was reading. So I was on one of a wrestling forum, and it was the question was, is this crunch time for AEW after Survivor Series? And one of the interesting things I read was that initially when AEW came into play, its big thing was that it was an alternative from the WWE. And at that point, it truly was because
Yeah.
Vince was still running things, and like the product was compared to now, the product was not good
Mm-hmm.
compared to now. And they mentioned how you could see during the pandemic how AEW was essentially the more entertaining company during the pandemic
They
because of
pivoted the best early on.
yeah,
Yeah.
because of Vince's old stuck in the mud ways and things like that. And they're
Mm-hmm.
saying now that alternative is much less than it was before because now with Triple H at the helm, they're doing things that normally you would only see in AEW, like acknowledging people's past and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like little
Mm-hmm.
subtle things like that. Like the only big differences now are the levels of blood and violence and
Yes.
language. Like those are really the only besides aesthetics, like the production and stuff like that. Those are the only real
Which
differences between the companies.
AEW
So
got to get AEW need to get that together. What did
yeah,
I just see? Wow, it was somebody's entrance or something like that from the pay per view, and I was like, bro, y'all, this is you don't mess this up during nobody entrance, man. Like somebody
for full gear.
stumbled. I think it was, man. It just annoyed the hell out of me.
Yeah,
It annoyed the hell out of me. They
but
got to
that's
get
the
their.
thing. That's going to be a thing that is going to be tough because they are essentially a family-run business. Like they had to invest the money themselves. It's not like
Hey,
once WWE was publicly traded, they had more money to play with. Like
I can't even give you that because WWE had steady cameras in the 80s. Look,
yeah,
WWE
yeah.
went.
Oh no,
For,
no. As far as like the shots you choose and shit like that, yeah,
they've been crisp for. I
yeah,
can't do it. That shit been looking pristine as far as I can remember. It only looked like
yeah,
shit before I was born, maybe. Like, and they were mom and pop until 1999,
yeah, yeah. I
and
mean,
they were
but
30 years
the
old when I was
sets were
born.
a lot more modest because you got to remember, Roy used to just be a Titantron and a black curtain.
Oh no, I'm just talking about how they pan. Just
Oh, okay,
camera work.
okay,
I'm talking
okay,
about camera work. I ain't talking about the sets or nothing. I'm just talking about
okay. Yeah, yeah, yeah.
something fly happens, they looking at somebody in the crowd.
Oh
No,
yeah,
you
yeah.
know what I mean?
That.
That's what I'm talking about.
Oh, listen.
I
Let me
don't have
tell
a
you.
problem with they set. I don't have a problem with they set or
If
anything like
there's
that.
if there's one job I know I can do with confidence in AEW, it'll be running that production truck.
Oh my god.
I know for a fact I have the eye. I have a better eye than whoever's in that truck now. I can tell you that much. It's like when what's his name? The dude who runs production for WWE. I can't
Oh,
remember his
Kevin
name.
Dunn.
Oh my goodness. Him when he first started the whole camera shake during punches and then going back and oh my god, I hated that. I'm so glad that that's not as prevalent as it used to be. Like it was just I
I
was
don't
like,
even know why they started doing that.
I don't know either.
It's such a weird style of documenting
And
something.
the most baffling thing is Kevin Dunn's been the head of production since forever. So it
He's been the
wasn't
guy since
he
the time I'm talking about. He's been the
yeah.
guy.
So he just all of a sudden started doing weird things in production. And I'm just like, why? Why? Like, why would you like? But it seems like he's current. I don't know if he's still is he still running shit? I don't know if he's
I
still
think
running
he
shit.
still works with them. I think he still does.
Okay, but yeah, they've definitely curbed that because that shit was and the multiple camera angle, the multiple camera switches, like bro, just
I don't
About to
know.
give me motion sickness watching TV. That's
It was a lot.
crazy.
It was a
That's
lot.
crazy. But yeah, I could definitely. I'm with you on that. As far as like choosing what to cut to and what shots to
Yes.
choose, I'm
Oh,
100% with you on
because
that.
they do it sometimes at the worst moments of. It'd be a
Yeah,
big match. It'd be like some.
yeah,
I'm like, bruh, this stuff is gonna be. It's almost as bad as the person that cut away when Edge came back at the Royal Rumble and he
yeah.
spared, I think, Dolph Ziggler. And when he was getting
Yeah,
ready to spare, they looked to the crowd. I'm like, my nigga, this is gonna be a memory. It's my hit. Like, you gotta.
and
What
I
are y'all
think that's
doing?
the problem because, like, when I watch wrestling, like as far as like when I'm seeing the production and shots they choose, I'm thinking, are these people not thinking that I want these shots to be in the future video package? Because that's how I would be thinking. Like, I want this to be as perfect as possible because when I'm doing a video package for a few later down the line, I want this shot to be this way because these shots mean something and it pulls the viewer in more. But
Hmm.
I don't know why they just don't seem to get that. Like, bro, early, watch any build up video from SummerSlam '98.
Oh, oh,
Like, come on.
their
Like,
late, their night, their '90s hype videos are pretty good, man.
and I'll tell
Especially
you
that
what, one
era,
thing. Yeah.
98, 97, 98, and things are starting to get a little darker.
Hmm.
Oh yeah,
And
yeah.
I'll say this, even when the in-ring product and on-screen product was at its worst, WWE still put together the best packages, best video
Yeah,
packages.
the production value, it never felt cheap, yo. I looked at other
Cheap
companies, it felt cheap.
and knowing
WF had
what
their shit.
moments to choose.
Hmm.
It's just it's more important than I think other people think about. I mean, maybe we think about that shit because we just been in it for so long, watching for so long that we notice these things. But it's yeah, man.
Yeah,
I hate this.
and we arguably lived through the best period of the year for it.
Yeah,
So and we
yeah, like
and I believe we're in another real great period right now that has
mhm.
potential to be in that discussion, but you gotta do the little things too.
Yeah, yeah.
You
You
gotta do
gotta
the
do the
little
little
things too.
things, and like it has the potential to be even bigger because of social media.
Hmm.
Like imagine if we had like Twitter and shit back there in the Attitude Era, and like these moments would be even more visceral when it comes to like the American like consumption of media. Like,
Hmm.
yeah, you get them on SNL, and then every skit on SNL would be on Twitter getting retweeted, this, that, and the third, and then the fans are more connected with the wrestlers because they have their Twitters and they could beef on Twitter. Vince Russo would have definitely had them beefing with each other on Twitter, 100%. But
Right.
and during the wars, seeing how wrestlers handle themselves during the Monday Night Wars and shit like that, like this could be the second. Like it won't be as big as far as TV viewership numbers.
Hmm.
Like it'll never
But
be that big
that's
again, just
across the
because.
board.
Yeah,
That's
that's
in
across the board.
television across the board.
Yeah, so
There's
it'll
too
never
many
be
ways
like
to
that.
see things,
So, but
you
this
know.
is it's definitely we're on the precipice of another boom period, quote unquote. And it's all about how
Absolutely.
you handle these next few months. Like,
Absolutely.
we'll see. Some people are getting tired of they're starting to say MJF is having like his John Cena, Super Cena era.
No, I don't agree with that.
Because mostly because a lot like his match, the Full Gear match had mixed reviews. A lot of people said it was like too like WWE esque, not modern WWE, but like like the whole MJF gets carried out in an ambulance at the beginning of the pay per view because he got
It was
attacked.
heavily produced.
Yeah, yeah. MJF's coming back with the ambulance, and then all the like some of the like people weren't a fan of the spots that they did because they were just too dangerous. Like MJF dislocated his hip.
Did he?
He did the
Right from that damn cutter.
I think it was from the elbow drop. It was either
Okay.
from the elbow drop or the cutter. Because the cutter
The
was from
cutter.
over the rope to the floor, but the elbow drop, the table had already collapsed, and he did the elbow drop anyway. So it wasn't even like he had the table to break his fall. He just went straight boom. landed on his hip. So
The the cutter was fire.
yeah, yeah,
And that was cool. Anytime you could give me something I either I haven't seen or you don't see often, or this makes you go, oh.
yeah. And you
And
know
he's
what's
been doing
funny?
that on his babyface run. He's been doing some like I don't know. I seen him. Joe, shout out to the Miz. The Miz did like a leapfrog thing off the rope at Survivor Series. I'm like, yo, what y'all got in y'all bags? Anytime
Listen,
these guys like do them little type of joints, I'm like, okay, like MJF
yeah,
been showing you little glimpses of like, yo, I can like wrestle mad styles, but I'm gonna stick with
nah,
my
cause
character.
he. It's funny because I saw someone else do that cutter on Impact. So there's this wrestler, black dude, young dude, got mad potential. His name is Myron Reed. So
Hmm.
I've seen him on like MLW shows, and he just signed with Impact, and that's like his signature. Like he does that jumping over the top rope, cut it to the floor thing all the time, and I'm just like, yo,
Yikes.
listen, man,
Tearing up your body, homie.
black people influencing the game. You feel me?
It's a beautiful move, man.
Yeah,
It's
yeah,
a beautiful
but
move. I don't think it's I don't think he's becoming Cena-esque. This is kind of happening because of the Adam Cole injury.
yeah,
It'll
yeah,
tone down once Adam Cole is back and they decide how which ways they want to move forward with them. But
hmm,
I don't see it as a Super Cena. You got to take a couple more years of this before you ever decide to call it Super Cena. I'm sorry.
yeah,
We've been at this about 5 6
yeah.
months. This ain't nah. This is not Super Cena. B. I
Listen,
can't
like
see it. I can't see it.
there's been moments during that scene when I was just like, nah, this is too much. Like
It's yeah.
we're not gonna DDT Cena multiple times on the cement floor and then have him still kick out. Like, don't do that to me. But yeah, I don't think it's been like that with NJF. But do you think his run is starting to get stale?
Do I think so?
Yeah.
No,
Okay.
no. I
I
only
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 ask
thing
these
I
because I
didn't
see the rumblings on the internet.
only thing I didn't like was the fact that Jay White could take his belt and parade it around,
Yeah.
and like
Yeah.
the fucking Tony Khan can't be like, yo, whoever's the champion supposed to have the belt, like give it up. Like the whole stealing the belt thing was silly to me. I've never seen a
Mhm.
belt stolen for that long, yo. Like
Yeah.
they'll
Yeah.
usually they'll steal a belt and you get it back by the end of the week, the same night, bruh.
Yeah.
He had that joint for weeks. Nah, man. That's my only gripe with the run is that part.
Hmm.
That shouldn't have been that way. Um,
I like what they're doing with Samoa Joe shit too now. So
he dropped the television title.
yeah, so at Full Gear, the pre-show, Joe MJF had to defend the tag titles, the RH tag titles. And Joe said, since you don't have a partner, I'll be your partner, but in exchange, I want a future world title shot.
Hmm.
So MJF didn't give an answer basically until the night of the show and then accepted the offer. So then Dynamite,
Try to walk it
Cole
back.
and MJF come out, and then Joe comes out. He's like, "Yo, I helped you out with my title shot." And MJF is like, "Nah, screw you." And then Adam Cole is like, "You're the new MJF. Be a man of your word. Joe helped you. Give him a title shot."
Mm.
And so, since MJF is injured, they want to hold him off until the World's End pay per view. So they're gonna
So he's
fight.
legit hurt. Okay,
Yeah, yeah.
that's how
Like
that
they
happened.
had to pop his hip back into place. They said so. So he won't be wrestling until World's End. And so what they did was they played it into the angle. So Joe's like, you know what? You're my property now. And what happens with my property is no one touches it or does anything unless I say so. So I'm going to protect you so that when we get to the world's end, you'll be 100%. There's no excuses, no nothing. You're my
Hmm.
bitch until then. So,
Yeah.
well, you're my property until then. So I like the way they playing that out. But afterwards, and I don't know what they do because people are clamoring to see Swerve win that championship.
Mm. World's End is the end of December, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think I'm not sure because I watched Dynamite last week and
Hmm.
Cole is still leaning into this whole "I'm not ready to come back" thing yet.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah. It
so
sounds like he
third,
won't be back for a minute.
I'm like, bro, if that's like, why are you on TV, man? Why are you traveling with that foot then?
Listen, they got
Don't be teasing me, bro. So I feel like that
It,
would be the next move to make for him. But
I feel like the only reason he's still on TV is because if he's not the devil, it has to be someone close to him. Otherwise, just relinquish the tag team titles, have him heal up, and come back or whatever. But
I got a random question for you.
yeah.
'Cause these are things I've been thinking about within the time we haven't done a show.
Mhm.
How do you feel about story time with Adam Cole? That whole like not whatever he says, but just the like that's the catchphrase. Like how do you? It's like there's something very doofy about to me, like the fans that just
Yeah.
pop for that. I'm like, no, that's not really.
I
Mm-mm.
think it's a I don't know because I know he used to do a lot in NXT, and I wonder if it's just one of those things that just I feel like some fans are programmed to react to certain things a certain way.
Mm-hmm.
Like every time there's a pause in someone's promo, they can't control it. They gotta say what. They gotta say what. They just it's something in them that triggers them. And I feel like Adam Cole has like a couple of things where he just triggers a pop. It's the little, his little rocking and putting the hands up and saying Adam Cole, baby, and then the story time with Adam Cole. Because I'm just like, it has to be because it's the way he says his name. Like people just love saying baby. Like it has
I
to be something as simple as that.
in his entrance when he does the thing, I caught that
Yeah,
from years ago. That all right, that's a thing. That's
yeah,
how he likes to say his name. No, I think it's cool, but like when you got such a strong promo in MJF and MJF hands the mic off, boom, and it's like oh, it's like they're hyping this shit, and he just goes,
yeah,
"Who's ready for story time?" I'm like, that's what we gonna get hyped for. I need a better leading than that.
yeah. But I
I'm,
mean, it's not get
this
twisted.
must sound like the shit
I
on
think
Adam
he's a
Cole
great
show, but
talker.
it's not.
I think he's a
Huh?
great talker, though.
No, he's good.
Yeah, yeah,
I
yeah.
think he's great. I just that's why
You just
I'm
don't
like
like that
underwhelmed
intro.
by that.
Yeah.
That's my problem. Like you couldn't come with nothing better than who's ready for story time. You know what it is? It's like when CM Punk wants to do something like that, he don't
Hmm.
say it, but he do his Indian sit down, folded
Style.
leg.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? And once he does that, you know what we about to have a story time. So that's
yeah,
it's like it's the other ways to get the point across. Like, oh, this is not a regular promo. I gotta pay attention. You know, he's about to
yeah,
get into something.
yeah.
And so I guess that's what I'm looking for from him. He ain't got to sit out. He don't have to sit down like that. But I'm just saying, like, who's ready for? I don't know. That just sounds very. I just put some uh like whatever that Pillsbury in the oven, and who wants some biscuits? You know, it doesn't do it for me. And I think he's better than that, but I don't think he's going
Yeah.
anywhere. But if you ever were to hear this, I just think you're better than that. That's all. And you know it. How about that? But you're better than that.
Nah,
Better
I
than
can see
that.
that. There's some things. It's like what you call it? Oh man, now my mind just went blank. Damn, now my mind just went blank. But like we'll see, we'll see. But yeah, that story time shit.
That
I think
dude,
it's just yeah, it's just so ingrained to the fans' minds now, and it's like another
he's
interesting thing
sold
is
on
like
it.
yeah, yeah,
He's kicking back.
because
I
he's
came
because
up with
like
that.
in real life, he's a mad, happy-go-lucky, regular dude. Like he plays video games all the time. Like he's
Hmm.
just, which is crazy because he plays such a great dickhead heel.
Hmm.
Like, and it's just, and it's
Oh,
just not his personality at all.
by the way, he also shitted on Roderick Strong last week.
Yeah, he did, man.
He said,
Say
"Yo,
you're
you're
not my
not my
best
best
friend.
friend anymore." Oh, he
After,
laid it out straight. He gave
listen,
it to
after
him,
all Roddy did for him, man. He
bruh.
don't even use a little scooter Roddy got him. He out there with crutches, looking. Come on, man.
No,
Come on,
listen,
man.
I looked at the TV. I said, "Damn, that's effective storytelling." Because
Nah,
they've
he's
been
gonna
milking
pay.
this shit for the longest, and he's had enough now. He's like, "Nah,
He's
bro,
gonna pay for that.
get it through
Oh,
your stick skull."
one thing I want to bring up to you. So Ronda Rousey
Good one.
recently, she just had a match on Ring of Honor.
Yeah.
Um, so Marina Shafir, who coincidentally is Roderick Strong's wife, um,
Okay.
she is best friends with what you call it with Ronda Rousey. And I don't know if you remember when Ronda initially signed with WWE, she had her own like horsewoman. So she had Shayna
Yes.
Baszler and
Yes.
so thing was one of them. Um I just forgot her name. I just said her name and I just forgot her name.
Shafir, something Shafir.
Marina Shafir, she was one of them.
Mm-hmm.
So but WWE released her and then AEW signed her, I want to say like during, if not right after the pandemic.
Okay.
And she's been languishing for a while. They teamed her up with Nyla Rose for a bit. Like they're trying to really find something for her as she improves in the ring. So this past Thursday, she had a match. She had an upcoming tag match against Athena and Billy Starks. No
Mm-hmm.
relation to Zoe Starks. And she was a mystery opponent. She came out. She got a nice little pop. And she got a nice little pop. She looked crisp. Because I know she just had another indie match like a couple weeks ago, so she's been doing like independent bookings, which is
Okay.
funny to me because I never saw her as someone who loved wrestling enough to take
Love of the
independent
game.
booking, yeah, to
Yeah.
take independent bookings,
Me
and
neither.
then for her to debut on Ring of Honor and not straight up on like I don't think she signed. It might have just been just like a per match deal, like she just signed up for that one match, but
Mm-hmm.
for her to be there and not like on AEW television with the cachet she has outside of wrestling, I'm like, yo, Ronda really did she fall in love with wrestling while she was doing this shit? Cause she doing it like she a vet, like doing
Like she
indie dates
about
and
it.
shit like that. Yeah.
But it makes you wonder why she wanted to leave WWE either. That she wanted to go find
I don't
herself
know.
more. You
Maybe.
know.
Maybe.
I find it. I was definitely surprised that she showed up at Ring of Honor
Yeah.
of all places.
Yeah.
But I'm glad she got a good reception. And she can only get better. I actually don't think her in ring was bad. I just think her character work was not the best. And
Yeah.
she
Yeah.
takes like people booing her to heart. And like you got to use that hate as a tool, especially if you got to utilize that
And there was the brief
to your
moment she
advantage.
did, she was good.
Yes, but that's what's necessary. So you can't take it too serious, man. Like be more alarmed when no one makes any noise for you. No reaction is the worst reaction.
Oh yeah,
You
yeah. Now
know,
you don't want that what they call it. They used to call it the Rob Conway pop.
I
Rob
don't know Rob
Conway,
Conway.
his music would hit and no one would react. It would just be silence. Just that.
Yo,
And
one
he had
time
that
for La
terrible music.
Resistance, man. I used to like La Resistance. That's one of the last few well-defined tag teams I can remember that actually won belts and like we are a
Yeah.
tag team and we
My man
are a
Rene
character.
Dupree.
I liked La Resistance, man. Oh man, good
Nah,
stuff,
man, my
man.
man. And they broke him up and Rob Conway had that look at me. That whole weird like,
You look like a stripper.
yeah, it's like, bro, it ain't working, bro. It ain't working. Trying to be like Sean Stasiak or whatever, Meat or whatever his name was.
Yeah,
Um,
that's jokes,
yo,
man. So
shout out to PMS Pretty Sisters randomly.
I was Terry Runnels, that was Jacqueline, and that was who?
Ivory.
Ivory. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Shout out to them for sure. Um, so in the light of or in the wake of this CM Punk news, I feel like a lot in my mind I had shifted in the span of 48 hours.
Yeah.
How do you think what do you think AEW's view of this move is? Like, how do they think?
Um,
Do they feel like they gotta go harder? Do you think they lost in this whole deal?
I don't
So,
think they lost, or I don't think they had to go harder as much as they had to be more buttoned up, if that makes sense. Like, you don't have to go balls to the wall with crazy matches and stuff. You just have to create compelling storylines that'll keep people interested. You can't, because you no longer can just go, oh, we're having a dream match this week, tune in and watch. You can't do that. It's not gonna work. You
no,
have to you have to, like, people need a hook now to come
yes,
and watch. Like, there's a reason MJF is your highest rated, some of your highest rated segments. There's a reason Swerve is some of your highest rated segments, because they are attached to storylines and things that people are interested outside of just what they're doing in the ring. You know what I mean? So that means you gotta build a tag team feud to make sure Big Bill and Ricky Stark shine as tag team champions. You know what I mean? Even for your non-champions, give people who are on the card who don't have belts things to do to keep them interested. Because it's like one of their biggest issues is someone will be champion and on top of the world. You see them every week, blah blah blah. As soon as they drop the belt, it'll
you
be
don't see him at all.
weeks. You don't see them at all. It'll be, and it's just like, bro, you got to keep these people's momentum going, and you got to learn how to like. And it's not like he's incapable of booking outside of a title feud. Like, look at
Right.
Hangman and Swerve. You know what I mean? Look at CM Punk and MJF. Like, there's things you can do. It's just, I don't know if it's a thing where he's stretching himself thin. Like, he can definitely benefit from putting a team together instead of trying to book three separate wrestling shows, help your
Yeah,
father
man.
run a football team, help your father run a soccer team. It's just too much.
No,
It's too much.
I'm with you there.
But they need to start focusing on the story aspect of wrestling, because they've really, outside of a handful of people, they've lost that the last year or two or so. And it's just like, yo,
And for
people,
Marriott's, they've had some tough breaks also with
yeah,
injuries.
yeah,
But
yeah, definitely,
overall,
definitely.
I still think it would behoove them to, like I say, their match style is always to me. It's like you and I gonna play Street Fighter right now. You gonna
Hmm.
pick somebody, I'm gonna pick somebody. We're gonna see how it work out. That's cool
Yeah,
for Street Fighter. That ain't cool for
yeah,
episodic television, man. I need to. I can't stand when they do that. Well, it's just been announced. Daniel Bryan's gonna be facing the Lizard. I'm like, oh, the Lizard was in Japan for 35 years and held every title. It's gonna be a barn burner. I'm like, who the
yeah.
fuck
You
is
can't.
the Lizard?
Nah, that has to work. That only works as a special attraction once every few weeks, a couple of months.
You
You
know
need
when
to.
the WWE brought they had an NXT what they used to call they pay-per-views. Um
Oh,
NXT
takeovers.
Takeover, right? Years ago
Yeah,
they had one where they brought over Jushin Thunder Liger. I
yeah,
never thought I'd see him in WWE. I was like,
yeah.
okay, you do stuff like that because it's like, bro, you've been around so long. We'll throw him in with somebody just to see how it go.
Hmm.
That makes sense to me. But Daniel Bryan's like he got cachet and equity within the country. Like people already know him. Like make something for him. You know
Yeah, yeah.
what are you
Give
gonna
him
do?
something he can sink his teeth into, man.
Something, man.
Like,
Something.
I need, and here's the other thing AEW needs to do. They have to make sure that their younger stars feel like they have a future in the company, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Because you got a bevy of young stars who,
This
if
is
you
a great
just,
segue into my last question.
yeah,
Go ahead.
you gotta, because let me tell you something. I feel like the people who are on the fence right now, and it's depending on what you do with them, Ricky Starks, um,
Hobbs.
Hobbs, yes. I'll say Miro, maybe.
Definitely. I think.
Um, and then
That was my next one.
as far as the woman goes, I don't see Britt Baker ever leaving, but I could see Chris Statlander leaving. I could
I mean, they're
see,
they're doing shit with Tony now, but Tony is up out of
yeah,
there eventually. I don't give a fuck.
yeah,
Timeless is
I
out of
could
there
see,
eventually.
I could see Thunder Rosa leaving if things aren't right and she gets back healthy.
Mm-hmm.
Like you got to start someone like Daniel Garcia. Like he's really young now, but like you got to give him a reason to think that all right, y'all believe in me, this, that, and the
Mm-hmm.
third. Because he don't have to be on the top of the card in WWE.
No.
He could be Ricochet level in WWE, and it'll be
Mm-hmm.
good. It'll be great for him. You know what I mean? You got to make sure these because right now the only like I was saying earlier, there's nothing really separating the booking styles of both companies anymore outside of like the violence of the matches and things like that. Other than that, they're acknowledging people's past. I'm sure they'll be willing to you know, they're not doing the dream matches yet, but I'm sure that's something they could build towards as far as like wrestling someone outside the promotion. I mean, they sent Shinsuke to Japan
Do it. I think they'll do it when
to
they
wrestle
think
Muda's
it's.
last match.
I think
Yeah,
they'll do it on like depending. Like they've always done that once in the blue.
yeah,
When Taz had to run and get the title off of Mike Awesome, they let
yeah,
it happen. Like they'll
yeah,
do it. It's just
yeah.
not.
So
They
I
don't make
think
their
at
name
this
on
point,
that.
yeah, at this point, it's making sure the people you want to be the future of your company are happy now. Because I'm telling you, they lose Ricky Starks. I'm super high on Ricky. They lose Starks and Hobbs. I'm sorry, those are big blows to me because those are people who could be main event championship players for your company. You don't want them wrestling for someone else. You don't.
Which is my last question. How likely is it you think that Ric Flair has a match?
Oh my goodness.
I seen Christian try to low blow him at the pay per view. He can't leave well enough alone. And look, Sting is gonna be semi main eventing until he
Mhm.
retires, whenever that show is.
Yeah.
And I just need to know how likely you think this dude is gonna have a match in AEW. Give me a
I
percentage.
I'm gonna say 10%. I don't think
I say 70.
70. I don't know. I don't know.
Listen,
It's
they said the doctors say that they clear. Don't they do all that shit to let you know that he won't die.
yeah.
They dog 70% he gonna wrestle AEW. That's what I think.
I just don't think it'll have to be like in a match where it's so like convoluted and he's so well he doesn't have to do that much. But it's weird because he mentioned like so in the Shannon Sharp interview he mentioned how there were some people in the WWE who are not happy with him signing this contract with AEW.
Okay.
And he was like, I never wanted to do anything to burn a bridge with WWE. He's like, I was just, people want to pay me to appear. I'm not gonna say no.
He's doing business.
Yeah. So I don't know if it's a thing where he won't do a match as to not potentially burn a bridge, even though what's the point of like you're in a Hall of Fame. What else can you do for WWE? Like really, what else can you do? So I
I think it's
don't
more
like
about symbolic for them, but I mean,
yeah, yeah. And I mean his antics haven't affected Charlotte's booking. So it's not
yeah.
like they hold him against her. So you don't gotta
I
worry about that. But
I think he needs the bread. That's one reason why he's doing it.
yeah,
And I do think he loves the locker room and like that camaraderie. I think he wants to still feel like he's offering something.
yeah,
Um,
definitely,
he
definitely. You don't
doesn't
want to
doesn't seem
feel
like the type to. He's not a homebody. Hey,
no,
honey, let's go have breakfast
nah.
type
And
of dude.
he's definitely the type of dude he doesn't want to be forgotten. He does
You
not want to
know,
be forgotten.
I
Like
mean,
that would crush him if people
if
were
you
just like they don't care about Ric Flair anymore.
if you watch or if you ever listen to like 83 weeks and listen to Eric Bischoff stories,
Mhm.
he's always talking about being. I think he's out in Wyoming or Wisconsin or somewhere, and it's just him and his wife and his dogs. And this dude he just likes a quiet life in the mountains. This dude just be like,
Yeah, he's
I took
chilling.
Mrs. B out, went out for a nice steak dinner, And like this dude, he likes to just. That's not Ric Flair, son. Ric Flair.
Nah, Ric Flair got to be in it.
Oh my goodness.
He got to be in it. And it's
That's
just like, as long as someone will have him, he will be there.
yes. I'm complicit because I'd watch. I'd watch.
I
I gotta give that credit. I'd definitely watch.
don't
Um,
know, man. I just don't want it to be like people are gonna be saying, "Oh, you could have given a spot to a younger guy, and you got Ric Flair taking up a spot," and it's just like I can see
yeah,
that argument,
it's valid. It's valid.
but then again, it's Ric Flair.
So,
But
no, I mean, look, you hear it out. It's like this, yo. I remember when I used to work in social services, and I'll be frustrated about certain things. I had supervision with the supervisor. They'd be like, "Well, what do you think can improve?" You tell them all the things that they can improve on. You complain, and then you go
mm,
back to your desk, and nothing changes. So if
yeah,
it could be wrong. It could be wrong, and we could be right in what we're saying that is wrong. And
yeah,
it's like, all right, well, it's Ric Flair, bitch.
yeah, man. It's just like I don't. Nah, I don't see. I don't see. Maybe he'll be involved in Sting's last match, but that'll be. I don't know. I don't see him like in a random tag match on Dynamite or something like that.
Flair's gonna get in a match where someone gets pinned and he's a participant. That's what I say. That's what I say. I'm
We'll
sticking
see.
with it.
Yeah.
And they're gonna be so what the AEW might mishandle it so bad that that shit might be on fucking Rampage.
Oh, listen.
That shit might
Nah,
be
he
on
ain't putting Phil on
Rampage.
Rampage. He ain't putting Phil on Rampage. He ain't putting Phil on Rampage.
Live Rampage on a pay-per-view weekend just to make it better. Live
What?
Rampage weekend. That's when they're gonna do it. That's when they're
Nah,
gonna do
definitely. That probably be the best time to do it. Shit.
You I tune
But I
in. Like I
hope.
said, you told me that. I'll check it out. See what he do. See what
Listen,
he got.
it's so I got one interesting note, like outside of AEW and WWE.
Mm-hmm.
So Tessa Blanchard, daughter of Tully Blanchard, stepdaughter of Magnum TA.
Racist shorty, right? Something like that.
Yes.
Yeah, I remember that.
Who she got herself blackballed from another company.
Oh, where was she working?
She was working in Mexico. And
What she
I
do?
think it was either so she was her ex-husband now was a wrestler named I can't remember his name, Daga or something,
Okay.
who's prominent in the Mexican wrestling scene, and they both wrestled for AAA, I think. Um, so apparently they got a divorce because she was being, infidelity on her part. Let's just say that.
Okay.
So like they're not booking her now for some reason, but
Out of respect to him,
yeah,
yeah,
and this is because I think she cheated with someone like one of the boys.
probably.
Yeah, that's the whole issue. So it's just like, so I was thinking about it. I'm like, I can't remember. Maybe Teddy Hart, for those who know who Teddy Hart is.
Oh yeah. Uh-huh.
I can't remember
Always getting
someone
into
who's,
trouble.
yeah, but who was considered to be at one point. She was at one point the best women's wrestler on the planet.
Yeah, she was
She
the
was the
heavyweight champion, wasn't she?
she's the only woman to hold a world heavyweight championship in an American promotion.
Mm-hmm.
Like Impact made her their world champion, and the way she burns bridges too. So the issue with Impact was so the pandemic started and she didn't want to travel. You know, they asked her to cut a promo. They said you can film it at home in your backyard, whatever you want. We just need you to cut a promo, and she refused. She refused, and then the whole backstage shit with the racism and shit started leaking. So Impact was like, "Nah, you're done. We're not
She
fucking
don't
with
want it
you."
bad enough, man.
She went, and for the fact that this is a woman who, like, if there was anyone Triple H would have 100% signed, it was her.
Well,
You're
yeah,
she,
due to her lineage.
your lineage, and you're an amazing wrestler in the ring.
Yeah.
Like those two things right there is automatic WWE contract, like automatic. And to fuck that bag up, like NWA, they had Tyrus. They had Tyrus out. They tried to Tyrus out there, and they won't sign her. That's
Yeah.
crazy. That's crazy. AEW
Tyrus.
at one point had Tully Blanchard on staff. On staff, like if you were worried about her behavior, you had someone on
Tully
staff
Blanchard
who
was in
could.
a match.
Yes, you had her father there who could someone who could like guide her and like make sure she don't step out of line, and they wouldn't sign her. It's just crazy to me. It's crazy, and it's like Teddy Hart is different. Teddy Hart has criminal reasons.
Hmm.
Like he's been arrested for like domestic battery, this, that, and the third. Um, I think he's had some robbery charges on him too. But like so it makes sense. But he got in his own way, just like on that point. But for her, I'm like, yo, that's got to be a generational fucking up of the bag in wrestling. Like it has to be.
That's what you get, yo.
Listen, you want to talk nutty titties women? Like she's supposed to be on World of on Wild Woman of Wrestling too. They cut ties with her.
I remember that early
Like
on, real
early
quick.
on. Like
Yep.
everywhere she goes, it's just like, yo, you're done. At this point, she's gonna be wrestling in Puerto Rico at the shows where people get stabbed and shit. Like,
I
you
think,
know what I'm
hey
saying?
man, I was gonna talk about Bruiser Brody, but you took the words out
Word.
of my mouth.
Shit's
Hey,
crazy.
shoot.
And she's still in her prime. That's the other thing. It's not like she's, I don't know if she's in her 30s yet, because if she is, she's only in her early 30s. And we
Man,
and we in the age today when people wrestling at 40, 45, 50, 55, 60.
yeah.
As long as your body's holding up and people pay to see you, you could get a check out here. But
Hmm.
damn,
Hey man,
damn,
that is enlightening. I didn't know that happened to her, but
yeah.
I got, hey man, we two black
Listen,
men talking about this racist chick, bigoted chick. You can go, and shout out to
word,
her pops. They probably Republican, but shout out to them. Well, not her, but shout out to Tully. I
yeah,
know he big religious now, so he need to
yeah.
just pray for his daughter, do whatever he do. Hopefully
It's crazy how
they get it.
her stepdad is Magnum TA.
Oh, so wait, man, he married Tully Blanchard Shorty?
Yeah, yeah. He on this who was
Or
it?
at least at some point he did.
Yeah,
Because I think I watched whatever Dark Side of the Ring with Tully or something. He married someone else after a while.
yeah. They had a Dark Side of the Ring on Magnum TA's career.
Yeah. Sorry,
Yeah,
that's what it was. Man, yeah, that's right.
yeah,
And I watched that. He married someone else some years later. Man, who
yeah.
knew?
That's the shit.
That
You
is
got that. You got
yeah,
those
you
two
gotta look.
influences and shit. Crazy, crazy.
I don't know, man. So much wild shit in this world of professional wrestling, man.
Yeah.
But
Um.
that's all I got for y'all today.
Yeah. Yeah. That's it. I think we went. Dang, we almost like 2 hours. Shit. Now
Yeah,
looking at the
almost.
clock,
We got through a
but
lot though.
yeah, we had a lot to catch up on too, so it makes
Abs-
sense.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And I am enthused. Hopefully y'all will hear this maybe by this evening. Who knows? But
Yeah, I'm gonna try to get it out
Punk
this
is
evening.
back. Punk is on Raw as we are recording it Monday. I'm looking forward to Monday Night Raw. We will have
Oh
some
yeah.
sort of
Oh yeah.
update and response for that
Oh
next
yeah.
week.
Don't be surprised if he shows up on NXT tomorrow too. Like, I'm
That'd
just
be
here to
trick.
scout out the future, because
Maybe, yo.
remember his initial when he came to AEW, the whole before the MJF thing, his initial thing was I want to wrestle these young dudes.
Yeah, you want
I
to do
want
fresh things.
yeah, minus the match he had with QT Marshall for some reason. Like I don't know why that was a thing that happened, but
It's all about just
it happened.
getting his legs, yo. I think that's all it
Yeah,
is.
yeah. And he don't need to get his legs under. He just wrestled a couple months ago, so it's not like he got severe ring rust.
That man had good matches with AEW too, man. Shout out to him. He just got hurt, so he's got to watch that. But
Yeah,
shout out
yeah.
to
That's the
them.
only thing.
Shout out to
But
them.
damn, yeah, that's it. Shit's crazy,
Indeed,
but
yo.
it's happening.
In the best of ways.
Yes. That is all we have. So we're gonna get this episode. I'm gonna get you up. I'm gonna get this up tonight. I'm gonna try and get it up before Raw. I'm hoping YouTube agrees with me. I'm gonna
It'll
try and
take
get it
it'll
up
take some
before
time.
Raw.
I'm gonna start
Yeah,
trying to upload it as soon as we get off of here.
word, word. But until next time, it's the best of both worlds of wrestling podcast. Um, and to quote our new women's world champion, chin up, tits out, and watch for the shoot.
I try for the shoe, yo.
Oh, and the little metal thing that she put in her butt to hit that hip attack in the corner during Full Gear.
She puts it in her butt.
Yeah,
Tony.
listen,
Ah,
Tony.
oh, oh, I gotta watch this damn Full Gear.
Listen,
When
if there's
that
ever
drops.
listen on another Dr. Umar forgive us, Tony Storm,
Bruh.
yams,
Bruh.
yams. Give me an orange.
Bruh.
Throw me a tangerine.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, Tony Storm cakes, yo.
Word.
Hey, I gotta go see this move. All right.
Yeah.
It's
All
been fun,
right.
guys.
It's been real. Peace.
Later.